So recently, I had a project where I had to document the history and use of conceptual art and graphic design, and I was surprised at how little history there really was. There's no well-documented evidence or written examples of when conceptual art was first introduced, nor does conceptual art alone have a clear definition. Instead, it more so runs on multiple opinions, which in my opinion is toxic as fuck. Conceptual art can be the beginning of a new art movement, but it also says that any art can be conceptual. Fucking anything can be conceptual. Flinging your shit on the wall and watching it splat like a big chocolate gusher could be considered conceptual art. Accidentally photographing your thumb when you're taking a picture of the Grand Canyon can be conceptual. A clown shoving an antique typewriter up his ass whilst yodeling barefoot on broken glass. That's conceptual art. Some history, what little there is more whacked. There were two artists that once got together. De Kooning was one artist's name and Rauschenberg was another artist's name. De Kooning had a sketch of a self-portrait. Rauschenberg proceeded to erase the portrait, pissing off de Kooning to the point where he wanted to fucking strangle Rauschenberg. Until Rauschenberg explains the concept of a drawing existing, but not to our eyes. And de Kooning is like,
far out.
Some will say conceptual art is an idea that is devoid of any real meaning or purpose, and relies heavily on the absence of any known material or recognizable items. God, this is fucking hurting my brain. For those that didn't understand that explanation, here's a watered-down version in 4 words. Shit that doesn't exist.
We ain't found shit!
I should elaborate that it's shit that doesn't exist yet, but it can be anything. Fucking anything can be conceptual art, especially if you feel some sort of emotion inside in some kind of way. And I usually think of this clip of Regular Show whenever that comes to mind.
That's the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Considering that the history of this is based on a lot of people's opinions and there's no documented, well-organized history behind it at all. For me, in my opinion, conceptual art is the art before the art. The sloppy copy, which is a mixing pot of hell of ideas you just threw up, and you're trying to figure out which one you want. I'll always sketch something first on paper before scanning it into a digital format where it can be edited and customized further. That's what conceptual art means to me. The history and the idea behind it is confusing as fuck, right? In fact, you right now in the act of watching this video whilst taking a dump could be considered conceptual art and no one will fight you on it. I hope you learned something from this video, and if you didn't, well, then you now learning a thing can even be conceptual art. Me having a staring contest with a plush of SpongeBob can be considered conceptual art. Keep that in mind.